Good morning, and good morning. I'm laughing a little bit because every morning when I'm doing these, I'm trying to wait till it gets through the numbers because it has like three numbers that come on. One, two, three. So I'm thinking I'm supposed to wait to the end, but then when I look on the video later on, I realize that it already started. As soon as it opens up, it's already started. So sometimes you may catch me looking silly, or you catch me fixing something, doing something I ain't no business doing. But anyway, good morning. How was your 3 day weekend? I'm hoping it was well deserved and that you rested, which is what we spoke about on Thursday, that you would rest Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you rested, put it in there. Let me know that you rested. I rested a little bit. I did. I didn't do anything on Friday. Actually, we talked on Friday. I didn't do anything on yesterday. Yesterday was my total day off, and Sunday I took, of course, the day off because it's my church day and Sunday school and all that kind of stuff. So I did all of that and had a good time. Good morning, Joan. How are you? So I'm excited to be in your presence again this morning. And today we're going to talk about just OH. And I said it's a simple word, but a lot of times there's something behind it. Most of the time when we say we're going to be surprised, something's going on, something's happened, something's made us upset, something's, gotten us excited. Something's made us extremely angry. O can be so many things. And O is just the sign, I think, that ushers in a discovery of the next statement that you may make. And, so we're going to have some questions, but of course, we're talking about the fact that O changes so many things for us. And so when I start out here, I found this poem. I'm always looking for a poem that's going to bring it all together. And I just kind of thought this one would be pretty cool. And this poem is by, it is a poem from A Great Big Cuddle by Michael Rosen. I don't know who Michael Rosen is, but I like his poem. I just think it says a lot about what we go through when we're trying to get peace or contentment or happiness or something. Good morning, Juanita, my friend. And so we wanna just talk about what dear, we're gonna start with that poem this morning is gonna do for us. So anyway, as I said, the poem is by Michael Rosen, and it says, "I went to the shop to get me a carrot. Oh dear, they gave me a parrot. Oh dear, look what I got. Do I want that? No, I do not. I went to the shop to get me a hat. Oh dear, they gave me a cat. Oh dear, look what I got. Do I want that? No, I do not. I went to the shop to get me a cake. Oh dear, they gave me a snake. Oh dear, what did I get? What would I got? Do I want that? No, I do not. I went to the shop to get me some juice. Oh dear, they gave me a goose. Oh dear, look what I got. Do I want that? No, I do not. I went to the shop to get me a chair. Oh dear, they gave me a bear. Oh dear, look what I got. Do I want that? No, I do not. I went to the shop to get me a truck. Oh dear, they gave me a duck. Oh dear, look what I got. Do I want that? No, I do not. I went to the shop to get me some peas. Oh dear, they gave me some bees. Good morning, Carolyn. Oh dear, look what I got. Do I want that? No, I do not. I went to the shop to get me some pants. Oh dear, they gave me some ants. Oh dear, look what I got. Do I want that? No, I do not. No, I do not. No, I do not. So anyway, oh dear is a playful kind of poem, and it talks about how sometimes we're just surprised about what we're given, surprised about what we get, surprised about who got us. because that's what happens. Sometimes people just do things to us that we weren't expecting, or things happen. They just happen. They happen for a reason. Maybe we were inattentive. Maybe we should have, paid the bill on time before they cut something off. We don't know what happens to us, but sometimes we just kind of get busy, sidetracked, or whatever, and we may have an oh moment. And so I'm putting on my glasses now. And this is is an interjection. That's how it's usually, an O. It says use other than with a figurative or idiomatic meaning, an explanation, okay, of a surprise or an amazement. It's a range of emotions, including surprise, anger, disappointment, or joy. And a lot of times we have O's and we put something after them. Okay, be honest. You put something after some of them O's, like, oh, this, oh, that. It could be, oh, no, oh, me, oh, my, oh, boy. Or it could be, oh, it says, oh, gee, oh, too bad, oh, woe is me. All those are O's with something else written after them. And I know some of you probably use some bad words too. We just do. Occasionally we forget, and we may say something that we could have left out. But in the moment, it's not the language that we use all the time, but sometimes we may get so angry, so hyped up, so whatever, that we say things that we shouldn't say. So anyway, what is O? What is your O? I know, and my question is, what is your recent O? Because to me, this pandemic has probably made people have a lot of O's, a lot of surprises, a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of pent up emotion, a lot of questions, just questions like, well, what's next? If we keep going like this, will we be in the house through all of 21 too? Because most of 20 we'd probably been more quarantined than not, obviously, if this was pretty much ushered in a good starting in March, and so we've been in a good 6 months now. So we only have 3 more months in the year, well, if you count this one, maybe 3.5. So yeah, we're on our way. We're on our way to having a history of being a long time under quarantine. And I don't know the last time when they had a pandemic, how long people were pretty much, isolated to an extent to keep down the virus that was going on. But it certainly is an interesting thought. It certainly is interesting. So when I look at the O of something, I think about, it's an outcry. It's an outcry of someone's surprise. It's an explanation, or it's a shout. And a lot of times we do that. We can shout out something. Good morning, T. We can just shout out something and be very we're overwhelmed by what takes place. Like to me, I just remember when my dad took sick, for the first time. And, I remember saying, oh my God, what's going on? Oh my God, that was what my, use of oh, I remember it. And I remember the last time talking to, good morning, Francis. Good morning, OJ. I just remember those O's. Sometimes O's become embedded in our memory because, generally speaking, it wasn't just a casual O. Sometimes those O's are huge. They're huge. They just, make us realize that is a stuck moment. That is a are you stuck moment when that O comes in. When it's ushered in, it doesn't leave quickly, and it remains, the remnants of it remain a long time. Like, I remember O with death. I remember with job changes. I remember when I didn't get a job. I remember with marriage, with children. You know, there's just so many O's we can have, and how do we make those O's dissipate, you know, lighten up us on us, or if they are joyful O's, and that's wonderful. That's wonderful. You want those, but it says the O in this case for OH is an outcry. It's an outcry that may come from us. It's our explanation of whatever's going on, whatever's getting ready to happen. It may be a cry for us. It may be a howl. It may be a whoop. It may be a roar, a scream, a shriek, or a holler. All those things speak to what O does to us. Good morning, Rhonda, my niece. Good morning, Janice. So all of those really speak to what O does to us. It messes us around. In some instances, it's happy. O's can be so happy, especially if we, you know, win a lot of money, we get a brand new car, we get a brand new house, brand new baby. Those O's are exciting. Those are exciting O's. But there's also the other O's. You know, I'm quite sure there's some people still saying, "Oh, the fact that we're in a pandemic, that we're isolated, that we're working. Our lives have totally changed." You know, and even when this is over, I think there will be what they call a chilling effect, and the chilling effect will be, well, looking at people and thinking, well, are they really all right? You know, I don't know about them. I mean, I'm afraid of them. Afraid to go near them, afraid to touch things, afraid to go out to eat, afraid to, you know, go to church, afraid because fear is built in when we've been basically put on notice. Our lives have been put on notice to be concerned, to be fearful, to be, you know, basically, you know, questioning. You know, we question things. Are they, you know? And it's so funny because I took some books to some friend's house last week, and they were funny as heck because they said, well, you know, you can't come in. We got your money, Doc, but you're going to stand right at the door. Well, I stood at the door. It didn't offend me because I realized some people's level of concern, even though you says you can be in the small, you know, numbers, you know, 10 or less. And I think even 10 is too much. You know, I'm probably one or two, maybe three at the most. But I don't want too many people to be that close to me or me to them because I don't know. I don't want to be the one that is the carrier. And even though I had a negative a few weeks ago, doesn't mean that I'm still. But I do my best. You know, I wash my hands. In fact, my hands are so dry. I can't even believe it, you know, and I keep putting lotion on them, but then I have to wash them again as soon as I touch something else. So after a while, you know, the O is in you. It's like, oh man, I'm tired of this. You know, what's left? What's next? So then we move on to the H of OH. The H is to holler. You know, now y'all know what a good holler is, okay? I remember my mom hollering when we were little, especially if we did something wrong. And she had some O's too and some other words after it. Now, I remember that. I remember that as sure as my name is Sandy. You know, she would always let out something. And she was a little woman. So to hear her let out something, you knew that meant that she meant business. Because she wasn't afraid of you. You know, she wasn't afraid of any of her kids, as many of them as there were. She would just go after us if she felt that there was something that she needed to get straight. And it may be an O here and there that came out. And she used, now my mom did say some bad words, considered bad words, but we just laughed at her. We just thought it was funny. But some other people would probably say, oh, why that woman talking like, it is what it is. It's just talk. Try shea butter for your hands. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I have some in there too. But it's just in between that it gets like that. And it's probably the hand sanitizer as opposed to the soaps. But even the soaps dry me out. But anyway, to holler, it says, is a very loud utterance. You know, it could be a bellow. It could be a roar. It could be a yowl. It could be, you know, hollering, roaring. It could be a shout loud, and it could be a cry. And I just remember people hollering or having a holler going on, and I never liked it, ever. You know, and I'll be honest, when my husband lived, he used to love to argue, and I'm not. I'm ready to go. You know, I'm gonna find me another room. I would leave the house. I just don't have time for that. It's just not my way of living. So, oh, good morning, Sharon. It's just not my way of living. So I don't like it. I don't like it when you holler at me. I prefer we just have a discussion. We have a discussion. You're calm, I'm calm, we're good. But if you're yelling at me and I have to say, oh my God, why are you doing that? Then that's not good. So I've used old remembering saying, oh, what's going on? Why? When I've walked in on people and they're in an argument or they're going on and there's hollering going on, to me, nothing can really get settled if there's that level of volume on is putting a different spin on getting to a resolution. So for me, the hollering and the yelling that may go on, the crying and all those things, it doesn't get you to a place of being comfortable to talk. And so most times those conversations are lost. They just can't. They can't last. They can't last and be good because people, if they feel you're not listening to them, this is my counselor stuff talking. What happens? They raise the volume, or they raise their anger, or they may go get something, or that's what I'm saying. If you can keep it to a quietness, you can have an O, but it can be an O moment that is just for you. It doesn't have to be for 10 people, 50 people. Everybody needs to hear you in the street, and I think I told you a couple of, maybe about a month ago, I had gone down to a deli downtown, and I heard these people absolutely yelling at the people who were doing the preparation. And they were yelling at such a rate that everybody had obviously it's during this pandemic, so everybody had pretty much moved back and they already had their space. But you could look at everyone's face, and everyone had a face of, oh my God, oh, why? If you don't want the food, just tell them you want your money back, or don't even pay for it, because it's one of those delis where you have to get the food and then go to the counter to pay for it. So they weren't even there. They apparently had bought food, looked in it, found it wasn't dressed appropriately of what they wanted on their sandwiches, and they absolutely put on a show. And it was so interesting to me, because I said, what would have it been if they quieted down? Good morning, Maurice, my friend. What would have been if they just made it a quiet conversation between them and the deli personnel, between them and the manager, because the manager came over and tried to de-escalate, just bring it down, make it die out, make it go away, because the store was full. There was a lot of people. There were long lines of people waiting and people ready to order. So it just heightened the situation. And sometimes if you have things going on and it keeps going up and up in terms of the volume level, the hollering, the outcry, the old moments, those are not only memorable, because how could I not have remembered it, because it just happened a few weeks ago and I remember it being, wow, that's unbelievable. Then when I went outside, the woman that was in the shop had come outside and she was yelling and screaming outside, 2 cars over from mine. And she was trying to get me to look as if I wanted to engage with her. Absolutely not. No. I feel that the management was trying to help you out. They said, listen, if we'll make it any way you want, we will do whatever you need. We are there for you. You're the customer. If it's not to your liking, then we certainly don't want you to have this. We'll make it right. That wasn't right either. No, so there was no settling. There was no, clear way forward until they, and in fact, they looked at me and said, oh, they had flies on your sandwich. I don't know if they had flies on my sandwich or not. Okay. Now I do remember that I didn't eat all the sandwich. I did. I did. I did eat all the sandwich. But it just goes to show you that sometimes, things happen. Things put you in a position where you're put on alert. And an oh moment is when you might recognize it. It's oh. Like I always remember Home Alone. You know, we just never realize that we might have those moments in our lives that are memorable. They're either memorable for a long time or they're memorable forever. And to me, certain things that happen to us in our lifetime, they will be memorable. We will never forget them. They will always have an O for us. It will always be something that we've just retained. We took it with us wherever we went. It could be the loss of a loved one. It could be a loss of a relationship, a loss of a job, a loss of a child. It could be whatever. There's so many things it could be that we remember what that O was. If you've had an O moment, just put it in the thread and say, yeah, I've had a few O moments in my lifetime. And then, but then it's what you do with O after you have it. That's the next thing. What do you do with it? A lot of times you can't do anything if it wasn't in your control to get the O, okay? Then it may not be in your control to get rid of it. Whatever happened. Now I think if you don't pay your light bill and your lights are cut off, you almost shouldn't be surprised about that O. Although sometimes they're supposed to be a little bit more lenient than what they during now they're supposed to be a little bit more lenient with people than what they were prior to us dealing with the coronavirus. But so that's nice to know. But it's still an old moment. You just have to do as much as you can sometimes with as little as you have. So here's my questions for today. This was a quick one. My questions for today pretty much speak to O. Why do you have an O going on? What is your O? So the first question is, what is your O moment been recently like? What has it been like? Your O moment. What has your O been? I mean, for me, I've had several. I've had several O moments. It's like, oh, let's see. Jones is making a sense for some, maybe their underlining way of getting attention. And that's true. That's true. Making a scene. That's true. Sometimes people do that. They like the attention, I don't really want the attention. Not from that. I certainly would take it if everybody's having the same opportunity for attention. Fine. We're all out there just having fun, and it goes around like as if we're having a friendly game of fun. Good morning, Lawson, a nephew in New York. But anyway, it says, with your O moments, has it been your job? Has it been money? Has it been your car? Has it been your children? Has it been the lights? Keep talking about them lights. I don't know. What has your O moment been? Where it's a level of surprise, a level of explanation on your part that you're actually expressing, oh my gosh, this is going on. And there's so many O's. What would your O be? Do you say, oh my gosh, oh my darn, oh my dear, oh dear? What do you do? Question number 2. What was your O out loud outcry? Out loud outcry. So have you ever had a moment where you knew you were loud, but it had to come out? It was an outcry, Did it include a bad word or two? Be honest. Because some people, they're not honest. They say, oh, no, I never say bad words, and they curse all the time. Did you shake your head? Was it one of those kind of things that made you, and sometimes I will have an oh moment that makes me just shake my head, say, wow, Okay, I'm gonna have to deal with this. Whatever that thing is, I have to deal with it. And the last question is, um, did your O make you holler? Did your O make you holler? Meaning it wasn't just one, you know, outcry. You kept on doing it. Because usually hollering is when you just keep on going for a little while. You got something going with the air and the message you're trying to get across to maybe who you're talking with. Or maybe it's that you're angry at yourself and you're having that hollering moment. I don't know. But it says, was it a bellow? Was it a roar? Was it a cry? I don't know. I don't know. Have you ever had those moments? I have. I have. I try not to get there. I find it easier to leave those alone. If I can leave that part alone, I do, because I find that most of the time, when you are angry, when you're upset, when you're frustrated, you have a tendency to usher in other things out of other people, because then they want to come at you and they're angry. You've made them angry and them upset. It says, during these unsettling times, I've had many old moments. I know that's the truth. Many of us have. I was hoping more people would put a note up in there, but I know there's a lot of us have had some changes going on, some things that are just absolutely disturbing to us. In fact, good morning, Kiwanis. I was in the store. I was in one of the health food stores the other day, and I go there frequently. And even though it says on the front door that you're to wear a mask, and I was over at the dry goods section where you could get your own dry goods and put them in a bag and tie them up and all that, but it still has the distancing panels on the floor, identifiers. Man decided he didn't care. I'm telling you, he was so close to me that I backed up and let him. I said, I'm gonna let you go first. Did he say, no, that's okay, you go first because you're already here? No, he didn't. So sometimes people will give you an old moment. They will give you something to think about. Watching the news will have you having an old moment. Absolutely. Sometimes the news, has me not just an old moment, but the old moment continues in my head. I remember seeing, George Floyd's death online. That O became oh, 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 meaning they're going to kill him. So for me, that became really something. Good morning, Jackie. It says, good morning. Interesting point about bringing out reaction from others. That's true. We need to really talk about what happens to us when we've watched the news, when we've heard somebody, or we just talking to somebody, and they may have something to say that really gets us going. And so let's see what it says. Yes, I've had many of those moments. My most recent one was going to the lighthouse and seeing so many walking around without mask on, even to the point of walking right past this huge sign saying wear more masks. This is true. And that's what I'm saying is like what you may not realize that's the only reaction you can have is oh my God, oh something else, oh, why wouldn't you at least deal with what the policy says at the front? But I let him have his way, and then I didn't touch anything that he touched. I went back and in fact, I went and got another wipe at the door and just said, see, this is how people spread virus, is that they're not attentive. If they're saying you should cover up, you should cover up. But people aren't interested in that. They do them, as they say. They do all that they want to do. So yeah, the huge sign. I was trying to read the rest of Rhonda's statement. Yeah, so mass to me is probably one of those times when you're going to be saying "oh" often, and it could be anybody and anywhere, because some people are not going to adhere to it. Or we were in that same store and someone was there with the mask underneath their nose, and they said actually that should be covered as well. The nose should be covered as well as the mouth. So therefore, they're talking about total coverage all the way to the underneath the chin. But people do what they do, and sometimes that gives us our O moments. That gives us a point where we feel that we've not been taken seriously, or in this instance, that the virus isn't taken seriously. It says until it hits home for them, and then they will be saying, "Oh, I need help." This is true. This is true. That's so true. And I remember about on the news probably about a month and a half ago, there was a young man who had gone to a coronavirus party where everybody was sworn to come into the party wearing no mask, showing no social distancing, nothing. They would eat and drink after each other, whatever, whatever. Well, this young man didn't realize, but he had caught the virus. And so 2 weeks after after he had gone to the event, he ended up feeling ill. Went to the hospital. They admit him, and they said, "Well, you know what? We're going to test you to make sure that to see that you don't have the virus." He said, "Well, I'm a healthy young man. I'm a college student, so forth and so on." Well, not only did he have the virus, but the virus had absolutely invaded his lungs totally, and rendered them useless. And before he died, he told his doctor, "I made a mistake. I made a mistake." And so sometimes we don't even realize that we're in a position to do something right, not just for ourselves, but for others, and we choose not to do it. So our oh moments are those times that say, you know what, this shouldn't be something I get stuck on. I should be able to cover up, go do what I have to do, protect myself as well as protecting others who may come in contact with me, or being 6 feet, 10 feet away from me, that I'm not there spreading this possibility of virus. But you never know. You just never know what people think. And in this instance, my O has made it where people have politicized it. It says, I have to limit my news exposure, otherwise you become angry and depressed, trying to find and focus on more ways to make a difference. This is true. That's very true, Kiwanis. Because sometimes, I have to ask you all a question too. I have to do a follow-up question. Okay, some are following the leader they believe in. That's true. That's so true. I gave you all a challenge over the weekend. Did anybody do it? Did anybody do what I requested them, was to do something special for somebody, just to give them something, to share something that you had that you could do? I did it. I did it 3 times over the weekend. 3. I had a little something. I said, you know what? And I went to the bank with the purpose of taking something out. When I went to get some money to pay something else, I put it in my, oh, thank you, Maurice. Thank you. I was excited about it because I said, you know what? All it takes is one. One person to another person. Just giving something that you had enough of that you could give away. And I also set some clothes aside that I'm going to take to one of the women houses, a woman's house, sometime this week. So I feel like that's what I'm called to do. That's what I need to do, is help somebody less fortunate than myself. And so, Joan, you did too. Thank you. Thank you, Joan. Thank you, Maurice. It's real easy to just do something for somebody else, even if it's on a small scale. That's wonderful. In fact, there was a young lady, I think she's on TikTok. She decided that was her way of giving back, is to help people And she said it wasn't that she had so much money, but she said she had a little bit and she was trying to get others to support. And she was giving away. Eventually, people were giving her up to $30,000 in a day, and she was taking that money and giving it to shelters and to people, homeless people on the street, and women in violence protective homes. So it just lets you know that there's a possibility for change just by one. And the one could start with you. And if your one is there and my one is there and somebody else's one, and those ones add up and they become multiplied to the point where a lot of people are being served, not by a massive program, but just by the ownership of one. It's wonderful. Okay. All right. Let's see. Joan said yes. Kawana, yes. T, yes. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you so much. And it says, let's see, Maurice, we went to Chick-fil-A. We had an ice cream and had it hot. And we blessed the gentleman on the side of the road. It gave me joy to watch him eat it while I was at the red light. That was me too. I gave money and then I gave some clothes. And so it just allowed me to believe in that my higher power says you will feel good by the goodness you give away, not always the goodness that you keep. Your goodness can be done by giving something to somebody else. That could be an moment. It really could. It could be something you could be very excited about, that you did something for somebody, that they were showed need. They showed you their need, but you didn't blame them for being out there. You didn't criticize them, but you helped them while they're still there. But anyway, I love each and every one of you. I want you to get in touch with your old moments. Still continue to give if you can do that. Still continue to look up to whatever's going on. Juanita says, I give out bags, drinks, food, sanitizer, masks, socks for the homeless when I see them out in the corner. Yes, Juanita, y'all don't know Juanita, but Juanita is my new buddy. I love me some Juanita. She is absolutely adorable. Just this cute little bundle of energy, and she does so many great things. In fact, I'm gonna brag on her a minute. We had a butts and brisket sale through our Rotary, and my friend Juanita bought 2 or 3 tickets and gave them away to one of the local houses around here that needed food, even though they weren't having people come in to help them like we usually did. But that was just a wonderful, wonderful thing, and I love Juanita for that. And we buddies. We new buddies. Oh, and it says, thank you, Sandy, and give to us every day, each week. I'm going to make sure I share your video today. Thank you. If all of y'all share it, I've seen 10, 11, 12 people, some come through. Now, you all, the only reason I see you is because you're probably friends with mine. The others, a lot of people say they watch the video, but they don't show up on my feed, so I don't know. But if you could share it, that would be wonderful. I would be so appreciative. That would be my oh yeah moment. I would just be excited about it, just excited. But I thank every one of you for you dropping in, and I believe that things are going to get better, and we're going to be able to handle anything that comes our way. I think I just try to help every day with a message of thankfulness, a message of encouragement, and a message of love. But I want you to be safe. I want you to have your old moments today, and certainly come back tomorrow. I will be here at 9 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Okay? Thank you so much. Bye-bye.